Well, welcome to today's webinar, Setting Up Your Event Communication Workflow Using Church360 Unite. My name is Andrew Osborne. I'm a content specialist here at Concordia Technology Solutions. You've got my contact info up there. I love helping churches learn how they can use technology. So contact me anytime you'd like to hear how our software in particular can help your church grow and reach more people in Christ's kingdom. So a little bit about Concordia Technology. Concordia Technology is the church administration division of Concordia Publishing House. Concordia Publishing House is the publishing arm of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And we have a really cool history. We've been around for close to 147 years. This picture is from the 1904 World's Fair, in which CPH won some different awards and things like that. So we have a really cool, rich history. But we also have a really awesome future coming up. We've been developing software for churches since 1984, and we keep digging deeper and deeper into that. Right now we have a lot of really cool products to offer, and we have a lot of awesome things in the works. So this picture right here is of our Innovation Center, and it's where we do a lot of our product brainstorming conversations. So a few housekeeping items before we begin. This presentation will be about 60 minutes, and then we'll save 30 minutes at the end for questions and answers. I know your time is valuable, so you don't have to stick around for the questions and answers, but they'll be there if you have any questions. Speaking of which, the webinar will be recorded, so if you have to leave, you'll receive a copy of the recording in your email. So you can leave for any reason. Even if you need to just step out for a few minutes, you can always go back and rewatch. Or you could share this with people in your church or anyone that would like to see it. If you have any questions throughout, I won't be answering the questions when you ask them, but I'll be keeping an eye on those questions, and at the end I'll try to answer all of them. So just ask them in the chat window if something comes up and you think of something. At the end, I'll try to answer those. And if we run out of time, I'll email the answers to you. So feel free to ask anything that comes to your mind. Church360 Unite is a component of our Church360 software suite. Church360 is our complete church management software, and Unite is our website builder, but we also have members, and that helps people manage their member information. And there's a lot of interactions between Unite and members. And then we also have Church360 Ledger, which is our church finance management software. There's not as many intersections with Ledger and Unite because they're pretty different softwares, but they're both unique and helpful in their own ways. So they're all part of the same suite, but they can be used independently of each other. Church360 Unite, like I said, is our church website builder, and it's our complete church management solution. There's different aspects and tools for church's online presence. There's the website builder. You can have blogs and feeds. It could be your member hub, where members can log in and gain information about your church and other members and different things like that. You can do file sharing. You have your master church calendar on there, and you can do mass emails from there. And we call it Unite because it really unites the different tools. So you can do all of those different things from one place. There's a few things to know about Church360 Unite. First of all, it's online, so it's accessible from anywhere that you have internet. The themes are all mobile responsive. So whether you're looking at the website from a mobile phone or a tablet or a desktop computer, the website should scale to those proper sizes. And then thirdly, Church360 Unite is securely hosted and backed up, and that's managed on our end, so you don't have to do anything with it. The data is backed up every night, and that your website's saved for 30 days. So whatever changes you make at the end of the day, those will be saved for 30 days, every day. So if you make multiple changes throughout the day, the only thing that will be saved is what you have at the end of the day. And this is helpful for example, if a church accidentally deleted a page, we could always restore it for them, and it wouldn't be gone forever. Let's see. And fourthly, Church360 Unite has a lot of free updates and support and training resources that we provide for you. So this may sound a little bit like a sales pitch. It's not meant to. I just wanted to go over some of the key features for those of you who aren't using Church360 Unite. We do have some customers who are watching, and this will be more of just training for you. So I have a few assumptions about you who are attending today. First of all, I assume that you'll be at least a little familiar with church websites, the different concepts of what to include. We could do a whole webinar on that topic, but today we're just going to talk about Church360 Unite and how that can help. My second assumption is that you're new to Church360 Unite. If you're a current customer, this may not be for you, this webinar, but if you've been using Church360 Unite for a while, you may still pick up some tips and tricks, but this presentation is more for novice users. Number three, I assume that you're at least interested in delegating tasks. Church360 Unite allows you to delegate lots of different things, so you're not having to do every single thing on your own. If you don't have volunteers or you need help finding volunteers, we won't get into that much today, but you can always message me and we could send you some different ideas of how to go about doing that. So I have a few different goals for today's webinar. Number one, I would like to explore all of the areas of the software. This is a complete overview, so I'm going to try to touch on everything so that you can see what can be done using Church360 Unite. I'd like to help you understand the key features. Even though I'm going to try to hit everything, I probably won't be able to hit everything because there's a lot, but we're going to try to go over all the overall concepts. Number three, I want to answer this question for you. How can Church360 Unite help me to communicate about upcoming events? So there's lots of different ways that you can communicate using this software, and we're going to try to touch on some of those. And my main goal is to make your life easier and more efficient, and that's, I think, kind of the key of our software is doing that for you. So right now we're going to get into the different website roles. First of all, there's the administrator role. That could be different depending on the church. You may have a full-time church office worker, a secretary, an office manager, a website administrator, a pastor. It really depends on your specific church who's doing this role. And we're going to talk about the administrator in terms of settings and users. So this will be the first thing you'll want to set up. And you could always delegate this to someone else, but it's probably best for you to do all of the settings and user things like that. And you're here today, so I assume you're pretty interested in that. Secondly, we have the designer role. And this sounds like it could be a bit beyond a volunteer, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Most churches won't have a full-time web designer or graphic designer. But you really don't need that. You just need someone with an eye for design or someone who loves art, like an art teacher or something like that. We'll talk about the designer role in terms of themes and pages. Third, we have the publicity role. This might be a full-time person at the church, but it's usually a volunteer. It could be someone who's interested in marketing or publicity or something like that. It may also be done by the secretary. We're going to talk about publicity in terms of feeds and lists. Fourth, we have volunteer roles. This could be board chairperson. Fourth, we're going to talk about the board chairperson. These are the different volunteer roles that you could have. We're going to talk about them in terms of groups and how they can use groups. We have ministry leaders, and they also use groups, but for now we're going to look at events and the master calendar and things like that with ministry leaders. And then lastly, we have lay members. There's lots of people in your church that will use your site. These people may not be actively involved in leadership, but they are active in your congregation, and they're going to be able to view your directory and profiles and update their own profile and things like that. So that's a roadmap for today. So let's get started. I'm going to switch over to the website right now. And this will be what you see once you get everything set up on your account. This will be where you kind of what you see when you first log in after the registration process. And we're not going to talk about that today, but it's pretty straightforward. And if you need help setting everything up, our support team's available, and they're really good at helping people get started. So you can see at the top we have the admin bar. That's these different buttons up here. And the first admin is, or the first user is always the admin. So we're going to look at users right now. See, so right now I'm logged in as Luke, and he's the administrator of this site. But actually, first let's go to settings. And under settings, you can see all of your basic account information. You have your church name, your email, your phone number, your address, the time zone, and this information will automatically flow to the footer on each page of your site. Also under settings, you have calendars, and there's a variety of calendars within your church website, and we'll have more details on that later as we talk about the different groups and adding events and things like that. Next, we have domain, and your default domain will be something like your church at .360unite.com. So you can see .360unite.com. This one is our training webinar website. So it's trainingwebinars.360unite.com. And you can change the domain to something like 360webinar.org or christchurch.org by using this little domain box down here. There's a few extra steps on the back end, and our support team would love to help you with that. Or you could go through a third-party provider, but maybe easier to just deal with our people so that it's not confusing. Next, we have Google Analytics. We don't have an analytics program built in because Google is a free tool that's pretty amazing. It can do a lot of different things, and it's kind of the standard in the industry. There's other fancier tools out there, but those tend to be much more expensive and not really worth it for churches. So if you need directions, there's directions up here on how to set that up. We won't go into all that today either, though. And finally, we have integration. Shepherd staff or Church360 members are different member data resources software. You can pull member data into your website from those different softwares. So it just adds additional value to Church360 Unite. And again, we won't go into that. It's too much detail, but that's something that our support team could help you with. Next, we are going to go into users. You have a variety of different types of users, and depending on the plan you have with Church360 Unite, you have a limited number of administrators. Administrators are people that can see everything, so they have access to all these different tabs up here and kind of control the whole website. But regardless of your plan, you'll have an unlimited number of regular users with a few different roles. So you'll see we have an entire database here. Most of these aren't users right now. They don't have a role. And that's because this is just for training purposes. It's just a fictional database. But for now, we'll look at these roles. You can sort them. So right now we have 2 different administrators on here. You can add additional people really easily by just clicking the Add People button. So if you have new members come into your church, you can add them to the database by clicking there. And you add their first, last, and email. You can also bulk upload people by clicking this Download CSV template. And you can fill it in Microsoft Excel and then re-upload it. You can add dozens of people at a time, which helps it go really quickly. So that's kind of cool. There's different types of users. I'm going to change a few different people here so you can see what types we have. So let's type in Jason Freeman. I'll click the box next to his name, and you can change him. I'm going to set him as our designer. So for him, I'm going to change his role to administrator. So we'll have a few more administrators, because only administrators can manage the themes. And we'll talk about that in a little bit here. You'll want to do this as part of the setup so you can get your designer going right away and get your site looking how you want it to look. So that'll be something you do first. And every Church360 Unite plan has at least 2 administrators, so you can have the person running the overall site and then someone doing the design as well. And if you want to free up an administrator role, once you have it designed, you can always change him back to none, or to a user or something else. Oh, sorry, also we do have this designer role. Designers also can edit the theme. They just can't access all the other stuff. So really, we'll just set him as designer. So now I'll refresh the page. And you can resort roles, and now you can see Jason is a designer. So we'll do a few other ones. We'll set, I'll type Tamika. I'll make her she's going to be our communications coordinator, or like our publicity person. So if you're just managing content, you can set them to just a publisher. That way that she can go on and change different pages and things like that and just add content to the page. But I want her to be able to send communications to our entire mailing list. And the mailing list can only be accessed by our administrators. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but for now we'll set her as an administrator and hit update. I'll type in Eva. I'm going to set her to a publisher. And publishers can edit the content of any page, like I said, except for group pages. Those are run by group leaders, and we'll talk more about that. They don't have access to all of the administration tools. They can access the pages and users tabs, though. So we'll set her. Next, we'll set Robert. We'll change his role. He will be managing content for us, but only within a specific group. So I'm just going to set him as a user. Oh, he's already set as a user. Great. And he won't have access to edit the pages or the theme or anything like that, just his specific group. So we'll keep him there. And then I'm going to add 2 more users. We'll just add Sally and Julie. And I'm going to change them to users just to show you that you can update multiple people at one time. So I'll set them as users and update. And now if you refresh and sort your roles, you'll see you have administrators and designer. And if you go down the bottom, you have users and publishers. So you can sort everybody by these different roles. So you'll see now that we have different users and administrators. Now before we jump into design, we're going to talk a little bit about activities. So let's click on the activity tab. Under activities, you have comments. These are related to blogs and feeds. We'll look more at this later. We also have the event log. This tracks things that happen on your site. A lot of these ones under here are things from previous webinars that we've done. But it tracks all these different things like people being added to your site and things like that. You also have the email log, and this tracks the different emails that you've delivered from your site. So using the activity tab, you can kind of monitor your site's activity and what's going on there. Now we'll jump into the designer phase. So you can either be logged in as an administrator or a designer to do this part. I'm just going to stay logged in as an administrator. And we'll switch to different accounts later so you can see the different roles and things like that. So let's click over here on themes. You have 10 different themes available to you, and we have more coming in the near future. All of these allow you to have a different looking site while keeping the functionality the same across them. So the navigation may look different between like vertical and light, but they're structured kind of the same way. And you can change your theme at any time. There's no additional cost. Some website builders do charge a little extra for changing themes, but we try to keep it what's best for churches, because we know sometimes throughout the year churches need to update things and change the look of things for a particular part of the year. So we try to keep that without making you pay any extra. For any professional designers, you'll notice we have more than 10 themes up here. That's because we have some that are clones. So you can see this Reformation one is based off of this minimal one. You can clone the theme so that you can actually modify the code of the theme, and we give you full access to that. It's pretty technical stuff, so we won't go too far into that. But if you click over here at the Advanced tab, you can add custom headers and custom scripts and things like that. Or you can go to the Edit tab, and this is where you would clone the theme. The only issue with cloning the theme is that if you use our default themes, you'll get updates as they occur. So when we add new functions and things like that, it'll just automatically upload. Whereas if you clone the theme, we won't be able to tweak it as much anymore. So you'll have to contact us, and then we can update it for you. So for example, last year we added the mobile responsiveness, and that happened automatically for any of our churches that were using our default themes. So next we have the Styles tab, and this is a new function we just added. This allows you to have different text styles. So it keeps your site from having like a million different text styles on each page, different colors everywhere. It keeps everything looking professional and clean. And you can add more of these styles. So I think you could go up to around 75 different styles. So if you really wanted to have different colors and looks and things like that, you could always add more here and use those later. So you can click on any of these, and you can edit the look of them, the font family, how they look, the color, the size, all that kind of stuff. You can add a border around the text, different things like that. So that's kind of a cool, handy little tool. Oh, and also you can see the updates as you change them. So if I change this color to a lighter brown, it would change over here as well. Or I could change the font, and it would change over here in the preview. So that's the Styles tab. However, the more unique styles you add, so if you keep adding up to 75, it will load down your speed on your website and make everything go a little bit slower. So be careful how many you add, because that could slow things down for you. Next, we have the Customize tab, and this is something that anyone can really use, as long as you're a designer or an administrator. Within each theme, we have a number of different options for you to change. You can change the look and the feel of your website while keeping the structure the same. So you can see some of these different options like background, color, banner, accent color. There's a number of additional changes you can make. So we're going to stick with autumn. Actually, under Browse, we do have a number of presets, so you could change to these different ones while keeping the same structure. So like under Heritage, you have a few different changes and tweaks within them. It's usually just little colors that change, or font styles and things like that. So we'll stick with light, and this is our autumn theme. So we'll stick with that. I'm going to add our logo to it, however, so I can show you how to do that. So you could click under Banner, and I'm going to browse, and I have it uploaded already. So I'll click on our logo, I'll save changes, and now it adds right in there. So if you have a custom logo you want to put in, rather than just having text there, that's where you would add it in, is under the banner. So I'll save changes, and now it's right there on our site. So now that we're over here, we've got our theme selected and everything, we need to edit our page so it's not just a blank canvas. So again, you need to be signed in as an admin or a designer to do this. You can see the admin bar at the top here, so you know you're signed in as that. You can click over on the Edit Page button here on the left, and it takes you into the edit mode. And if you hover over these boxes, you can see you have different cells to use. You can change the cell layout over here. You can have like 2 cells, or you could have 1 big cell. I like this one with the 1 big cell with the split cells under it, so we'll choose the 6 option. And you have different settings over here. You can change this to a draft page or a published page. If you set it to draft, that just means that you're working on it and other people can't see it when they go to your website. So you may not want to do that with your home page very often because that's where people usually end up first. But if you have them published, then people can see them. You can change your URL. So for this page, we want it to be trainingwebinars.360unite/home because this is our home page. You can change the title of the page and the meta description. And those are things that are important for search engine optimization. So like for Google to have your website show up, these are kind of key features to have your website show up further up in the list. So having good information in there is important. You can click over here, and this is our WYSIWYG editor. WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. And it's very similar to something like Microsoft Word. You could type in there, so I'll type, "This is my website." And you can customize the way that looks. Here's where our styles come in. So if you click there, you could change it to a different style if I wanted it to be like normal text. Oh, didn't do it for some reason. Okay. I guess as a title, it has to be one of the headings. But you could change it to any of these headings and then add normal text down here. You could also change this to like a heading 3, so it looks a little smaller than this. But that's how you change your different appearances and text on the site. It would be through the styles under themes. So for now, let me exit that out. But you can change, you can make your text bold, italicize, underline, all those normal things you would see in Microsoft Word. So it's a pretty common thing. It should be familiar to most of you. The toolbar has lots of different options. You can add anchors, links, images, audio, video. You can embed codes. You can do tables. You can have lines and line breaks. You can add special characters. And we also give you full access to the source code. So if you do know HTML, you can edit this part using that. So for right now, I'm going to add an image into this. So we have like a header image. So to add an image, I'm going to click this little button here. It's our image button. I'm going to upload an image from our home page. I'll do the sign up image. So this will be just our banner on the home page here. And these different images that I have, a lot of them I just designed real quickly using a website called Canva. I'm just going to show you real quick just so you know this tool exists. If you're not a designer by trade, or if you just need to design something real quick, Canva has all these different free templates for you to use, and they also have lots of different stock photo options. Usually their stock photos are $1, which is really cheap in the world of stock photos. So this is a good resource to use for anyone who needs a little assistance with design. And so that's canva.com. So that's just something I thought would be cool to let you know about. I use it a lot to come up with ideas and things like that. We can also add some banners to our front page here. So down here I'm going to add some more images. Go to upload. I'll add the day school. Put that in there. Over here, I'll add another one. Upload. Get involved. Throw that in. And over here, I'll add one more. Oops, I think, yeah, there we go. Upload. And our give online. All right, add that in. So now our page is starting to look like a pretty normal page. You'll notice it says you have unsaved changes. To save your changes and keep your page looking the way you have it, you just click down here on the Save button. Excuse me. Now, if I wanted to make these different images links, I would simply click on it, click the little link button here, and I could link it to a URL, or I could link it to a page on my site and then click through, and let's say I just wanted to set that as our calendar. So now if you save it and exit edit page, if you click on that, it'll take you to the calendar page. So that's a quick, easy way to link to different pages using images and things like that. So that's pretty much the basics for editing a page. There's not a whole lot else that's complicated about it. It's just adding things in and making it look good. So next we're going to talk about pages, because most churches have more than just a home page. So we'll look over here at the top. You have your navigation menu. Let's see. We're going to go to the Pages button right up here, though, and our admin bar. And you'll see the navigation that we were just looking at over here in this this little setup. And you can move things around if you wanted one to come above something else, or just change the order of things. You can add different pages by clicking on this little button here, the Add Page button. There's a bunch of different types of pages you can add. We'll talk a little bit about the different ones in a little bit. But for now, I'll create a normal page. You can create it. You can add the name in. I'll just say page. And then you would just drag it over to wherever you want. You save the changes. And then if you exit out of Pages, you'll see Page appears. And this is our new page. So that's a pretty quick and easy way to add pages. To delete pages, you can click on this specific page. You can either publish it or make it a draft. You could delete it. You could make it public or private, which means anyone in the world can see this page, or if you set it to private, only people who are logged into your site will be able to see. So let me exit this on. We don't need that Pages page. We have different page types, like I was saying. To do an announcement page, like the one under, we have, where'd it go? Under News, we have like Pastor's Blog. This is an example of like a feed. To see feeds, or to add a feed, you click on New Page and add a feed. This is the feed page. So we create that. And you would use this for things like blogs and announcements, different things that you want to update regularly. So to edit the feed, you don't have to be an administrator. You just need to be a publisher, someone who's strictly helping to advertise events. So for now, I'll click on this, create a page. We're going to create an event to show how you can communicate different upcoming events and things like that. We're going to have a rally day. You know, the fall's coming up, so a lot of churches are doing rally days. So we'll set that, and we'll put it under our ministries heading there. Speaking of which, these are our categories. So that's what you see over here, this other button. It's a category button. You can add different categories to be kind of like overall menus that you can have sub-menus under. In the old days, oops, I didn't save it, but I'll go back and do that. In the old days, you would have like a page. You could click on this About Us, and it would take you to another page. Now that we have more mobile phones and people looking at websites from their phones, we use these more as like containers, so that this wouldn't actually be a button anymore. It just contains all these different pages. So yeah, that's what a category is. You use them to kind of map out your website. Let's see. So I've got our rally day. I wanted to put it under ministries. Let me scroll down a little. Whoop, where did I go? There it is. Under ministries, we'll just put it under Vacation Bible School. I'll save the changes. And now if I go to my page, under ministries, you'll see rally day. So let's click on that page. And I'm going to just fill in some stuff about this. Let's see. We're going to add a post. So the post will say Rally Day 2016. We're going to set, I have some text written out already I'm just going to throw in there. So it has information about the upcoming Rally Day, and we can post this so people know about the different times and things like that. I could highlight the time and link it to our calendar. So if you highlight it, you could add the link. And again, you just go to page on my site, such as calendar, hit OK. So now if they click there, they can go see the calendar. You can add a picture. I'm going to go above this, and I'm going to add a picture in here. Oh, actually, you'll notice that there aren't pictures loaded in here, but if you're an administrator, you can see the different pictures that are on other pages in your site. But for this page, we're going to add an image. Let me go to Resources, Rally Day, and I've got a banner made for our Rally Day. Well, actually, no, I want to use the announcement for this one. So this will be our image for our announcement. Click on that, hit OK. And you'll notice it's a little big for this image, so to change that, you would simply double click on it, and you could go to Advanced, and I could change the height to something more like 250. And I have aspect ratio lock, so it changes the width and the height. Click OK, and now it's a little more manageable. I'll change this to, oops, sorry, that's not what I was trying to do. I want this to go down so it comes in line with it. So this will make making announcements kind of a breeze. You just throw everything in there and make it look how you want to. You could mess with a lot more other things, but for now I'm just going to hit Create, and you'll see we have our post down here now. It's not exactly how I would format it if I was really going to spend time on it, but you can see that's how easy it is to post on your feed pages. It's pretty simple. So now we'll click back on News and Announcements, and you'll see we can add different announcements on here. You can click Edit Page. I already have it open, and you can change all of the different settings here. Your URL, your title, your meta description. You could change how many pages you want, or how many posts you want on each page. And you can click whether you want to show the content or if you want to hide the content. That way, if you hit unclick Show Post Content, then when someone comes to this page, they'll just see the title, and they'll have to actually click on the title to see the content. You can allow comments, or you can moderate comments. It's usually well, to moderate comments, that means you have to approve each of the comments. For public feeds, things that you want anyone to see, it's usually good to moderate those. That way, if there's someone coming on your website who's being a little malicious, you don't have to necessarily let them post anything they want. But for internal comments and things like that, you usually don't necessarily have to moderate them, as long as you trust your members to do things correctly and be kind to each other. So we'll exit out of that. There are many different uses for feeds. You could use them for sermons, for blogs, announcements, prayer requests. You can have as many feeds as you want on your site. And you can view all of your different posts from your feeds by going up to this Posts button up here. You can sort them by name, by feed, by status, by author, when they were published. You have different actions under the Posts section. You can publish a post. You can make it a draft if you want it to come down so people don't see it. You can delete it. You can change what feed it goes to. For example, if you, like this one here, Vacation Bible School is coming, it's set to our sermons feed. That's probably not a sermon. That's more of an announcement. So you could change it to the announcements feed by clicking on Change Feed. Next, we're going to talk about mailing lists. And this is under Users. This is why we have to set Tomika to an administrator rather than a publisher, because only administrators can access everyone's emails. Unfortunately, this could be abused by someone. So you assume if someone's responsible enough to be an administrator, they're responsible enough to access everyone's emails. So we have a few default lists under mailing list. We have our everyone list, but we also can create new lists as well. Let's see. So to create a mailing list, we could set up a mailing list called Youth and create that. And now you would just click on it, and you would add youth from your family, or sorry, from your church. So you would scroll through the list, or you could type in their name. We'll say Tom. Tom's a youth. We'll add him in there. You can add as many people as you want to these lists. You could even add other lists. So if I wanted my website administrators in our youth list, I could just click on that list, and it throws the whole list into this other list. So that's kind of handy. And there's lots of opportunities and ways to save time using email lists. Rather than typing in everyone's name every time you want to email them, you could just set up a list one time and email that list every time you want to communicate with them. So next we're going to talk about groups, and this is where a lot of the communication happens on your website. So we'll go under Pages, and these can only be initially be set up by administrators, but they're maintained by users on your site. So to add a page, we would just click on Add Page, and this is the group page template. So we would click on Group, we'll create that page, and we'll call this one Rally Day. And we'll click out of that, and we're going to move it under Ministries. Oh, I already have that set. Sorry, I forgot I did that. So we have that one. Let me delete that, because I want it to be a group, not a feed. Delete. Okay. Now I'll move our group under Ministries, under Vacation Bible School. And then I'll click Save and exit out of Pages. And now if you go to Ministries, you see Rally Day, and this will take us to our group page. So it's already in the menu. Group pages are basically like mini websites within your overall website. It gives a single church member access to an entire group, sort of like managing their own website. They just don't have access to the admin bar if you're just a group leader. So you can manage specific group content. So as the head of the Rally Day, you can't edit the church home page, but you can edit the Rally Day home page. So you can click on Edit Page. You can change all these different settings, kind of like most of the other pages. You can add group members. So if you click over here on Members, you can add different ones. Let's see. So you could add a member. You could add Rob. We'll add him in there. He's going to help with our Rally Day. So it's really easy to add your list of leaders and group members to your group page. You could also demote people and change their roles. So if I wanted to make Rob the leader, I could change his role to leader. And I could change Luke. Well, I don't want to do that because then I'd be locked out. But you could change anyone around so that they can be the leader or just a normal member. You can, let's see, let me change my my login actually so you can see what it looks like as a group member. So we have a special login thing here at CPH, so you won't be able to do this from home, but let me do this as a user. Rob, login. Excuse me. So now that I'm logged in, oh, I must, do I have Rob logged in? Let me look. Oh, I'm still logged in. Let's try this again. Huh, for some reason it's not changing. Well, if you were logged in as Rob, you wouldn't be able to see all these because he's just a user rather than an administrator. So it would look a little differently if you were logged in as just a user than it does if you're an administrator, but we won't get into that right now. So you can edit this group. There's lots of different ways you can edit it. If you click on Edit This Group, it has lots of different things. There's the title, the description. You can add pages. There's a few by default. You can see them down here. There's the home page, a discussion page, an event page, and a members page. And you can set different permissions for each of these pages. You could set who can join this group. So for example, if you wanted it to be a semi-public group, you can set it to anyone with a login can join. So now anyone who has a login to your website can also access this group. Or you can set it to a private group. so that only people who are invited by the group leader can see this page. But again, both of those have to have a login to the website. You can't just access groups without a login. You can add pages to your group. So let's go back to home. Oh, sorry, no, I wanted to go under edit the group. So to edit a page, you can add the page right there. So for example, I'll add one called Notes. You can add that page, change it, oops. Let's see. Trying to remember how to change that from draft. Let me look. So then you would update group, that's what it is. So now you can see we have notes over here. So if I click on notes, you'll see it's like a normal page. You can edit the page and add different things in here. So if I wanted to add notes into this, I could upload the notes in here and allow people to see them. So it's another way you can add different pages and organize things for your members. So under the members tab, you can email the group members. So you could select everyone and email them or email all. So that's an easy way to email just this group. But that can only be done by your group leader. You can't just have anyone email them, just the leader. You have discussion board. And this is similar to a chat room, but it's not live. So it's maybe more like commenting on a blog. You can type a message, you can change it to an announcement. Other people can reply to it. So there's lots of different cool things you can do with discussions page. You have member settings. Let's click on that. You can set it to change how often you're notified. There's 3 different options. You can have it send me an email when a member of this group posts a comment, send me an email only when a leader makes an announcement, or don't send me any email notifications from this group. So you can change how often you receive different notifications and things like that. These are different ways that leaders of groups can communicate with their groups, kind of keeping things a little simpler for the church office, where they don't have to have everyone go through them. People can manage their things on their own, and the church office can delegate these communication tasks to the different leaders of the events. Speaking of events, there are different ways to use events. Under groups, you have different group events. So you could click on events. Excuse me. And each group has its own calendar. You can create different events in these calendars. For example, I could do on Wednesday, if you double click, I could have a rally day meeting. You can set what calendar it goes to. You can set the location, time, description. You can invite people. You can send out reminders. Lots of different things you can do with it. If I hit create event, now you'll see if you go up to news and calendar, that was added to our main calendar. So it's on there, but if you go back to the rally day calendar, under this calendar, that's the only thing, because the whole church calendar isn't being pulled to this. Like I said, we also have the master calendar. And you can see all the different calendars that are in here. You can set which calendars you want to see. So if you didn't want to see the church picnic planning committee calendar, you could get rid of that one, and that will clear up your calendar a little bit. You can set your calendar to the month view or to the week view, so you can see a list of different things happening this current week if you click on the week view. Setting up an event on this calendar is the same as the other one. You would just double click, or you could hit new event. I think it's easier to just hit double click on the event on the day you want to do the event, and you have all the same different things in here. To set this event up to recur, you could set this event repeats, and then set when it repeats and how often and when it should end and things like that. So it's pretty similar to any other calendar system you might use on your computer. There's lots of different ways you can use this tool. Let me exit out of there. So you can use your calendar for things like to schedule rooms and things like that. So you could add what room you're using to the schedule, and other people can see what's available. Next, we have our membership directory. We have 10 minutes left in our presentation, so I'm going to try to get through this. If you click on members, which is under ministries, so members, this is a list of all the members in your church. This can only be seen by people with logins, and it can't be changed by people without a login, because this is sensitive info, so you want only your church members to be able to access this. But if you click on a household name, you can see all of the people in that household and their information. If you clicked on an individual, you can view their information and see what groups they're part of. You can see different aspects of their profile. You could set their picture. You could change that if you wanted to. You could change their email address, their phone number, and all of this information flows from Church360 Unite back to Church360 members or to Shepherd staff. So if one of your members comes in here and updates their address, it'll be updated in your church software, your church management software. So that's a handy little feature that keeps you from having to do all that stuff on your own as the church secretary or administrator. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. We could probably dig into a lot more. There's a lot that Church360 Unite can do, but I want to open up for some questions and answers. I know we have a few different questions already. If there's anything you'd like to know more about, ask in the window. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to get the answer and have that emailed to you. So let me jump back over to my slides. I'll answer a couple questions for you. As I'm answering the questions, I just want you to know that if you would like to start a free 30-day trial of the software to try it out on your own and see how it works for your congregation, you can go to 360unite.com and start your trial there. So let me look at some of these questions. Okay, so the first question is, what is the difference between Shepherd staff and Church360 Unite? That's a good question. Shepherd staff, they do a lot of the same things. Shepherd staff is a desktop-based program, so you can't access it from anywhere, whereas Church360 Unite is web-based, so you can access it from anywhere that you have an internet connection. So they do a lot of the same things. It just depends on whether you want to be able to access it from just one computer or from anywhere. So good question. Oh, I see in your next question you said you already understand that. So we're good to go there. And good question. What are the color options on the calendar? So let me scroll back over here to the calendar. Oh, actually, under settings, if you go to calendars, you'll see you have all these different colors. You can set these up to be color coded. So if you wanted the altar guild to be a pink, so is that pink? I'm bad at colors. Or a yellow, you could set that up so it just helps you kind of color code what you're seeing on your main calendar. So if I, oops, make sure that's saved. Yeah, that's still there. So if I go out of here now and go back to my calendar, altar guild should be yellow. Oh, it didn't change. It's interesting. Well, it's supposed to change. I may have forgot to save it somewhere. But that's how you would change the different colors of these to flow into your website. Actually, maybe I need to refresh that page. Let's see. Yep, now it's yellow. So one thing I tend to forget is that when you make changes, a lot of times you have to save it and then refresh for it to actually come into effect. So sorry about that. But yeah, so now our calendars are all color-coded. You can see AlterGuild is yellow there. So if you want your calendar event to stick out a little more to you, set it to a color that you'll notice maybe, and that'll help you kind of sort between the different events going on in your church, because as you can see, a lot of churches have a lot going on, and your calendar can fill up pretty quick. And that's why it's handy to be able to close out of some of them. If there's things that you don't necessarily need to see every week, you can always access them by turning it on, like baptisms, if you want to know when everyone's baptisms are. But that may not be something that everyone needs to see all the time. So you can turn them on and off, you can color code them. Good question. Any other questions anyone has? I'll give you a few minutes to think of any or ask anything you have. Again, so this is the free trial. You can sign up for the free trial at 360unite.com. You have 30 days to try it out and see how you like it. Here's my contact information again. Email me or call me with any questions you have. I'd love to talk to you about any of this or answer any questions you might have that you can't think of right now. So email me or call me anytime. Also, our software sales team is really knowledgeable, and they know a lot of this kind of stuff. They probably even know more than I do, so call them up or email them, and they can answer any question you might have. They're available most of the week, so feel free to talk to them. Give you a couple more minutes to think of any questions. Again, you can start your free trial at 360unite.com. Try out the software, see how you like it. Maybe another minute just to make sure no one has anything. Here's the contact info again. All right, well, if we don't have any more questions, I guess we could end a little early. I appreciate you being here. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions and show you how you can communicate using the software and take some tasks off your church's to-do list and delegate them to other people in your congregation. So I hope I was able to answer those questions for you. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me or our sales team or support team. Anyone would be able to answer any of those questions. So again, thank you so much for coming and for participating, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Goodbye.